ESPNLA Live. Game 49 of the season is in the books.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Delivered by new melts from Pizza Hut. Cheesy, crispy, and loaded with toppings for just $6.99. Enough for two, price for one. New Pizza Hut melts, only at Pizza Hut.
Lakers basketball is a final.
877-710 ESPN.
It's the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Tipping off
Now, here's Allen Sliwa.
All right, 113-104 Lakers over the San Antonio Spurs. Lake Show now 23-26 on the season. They got a 5-game road trip coming up, so you had to get this one against San Antonio, one of the worst records in the entire NBA. And really an interesting night. For a matchup against the San Antonio Spurs in January, you wouldn't have thought really too much about it, but the reality is for the Lakers, they need the wins, they need the W's. Plus, you have Rui Hachimura making his Los Angeles Lakers debut. Ends up with 12 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 6 rebounds. Had the highest plus-minus of any player that played tonight between the Lakers and the Spurs with a plus-minus of 17. And then Anthony Davis happened to also be making his return. It's been 5.5 weeks since he's played for the Lakers. It was December 16th when he got injured against the Denver Nuggets. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 4 block shots. Really, really nice to see both of those players in the game. And what it does, just right out the gate, without hesitation, it gives the Lakers some true size again. It gives them some fantastic length in an NBA. That length is so important. You could at least see the shell of it, of, all right, let's give this a little bit of time. Not too much time because you're still 3 games below 500 and 13th place in the Western Conference, so you can't exactly just take your time on it. But the potential is going to be there. And Bron can have a night where he drops 20, and it's not a problem for the Lakers because you got so much other help. He had 11 assists and 9 rebounds. By the way, this was not a clean game. For 3 quarters, Lakers were basically losing the entire time. Not by much, but always within 3 to 5 points, somewhere around there. And then at one point, got it down to 1 by the time the fourth quarter started. And they woke up, fourth quarter started dominating from there. You can't do that against good teams. They can get away with it against the San Antonio Spurs. That's the last matchup the Lakers have with the Spurs this year. The Lakers swept them, won all 4 of them. All right, let me do a couple things here. Number one, if you're leaving the arena and you want to give your thoughts on the Lakers, Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, how the Lakers look tonight, what the potential could be down the road, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-ESPN. Also, if you're listening on the app, all our social platforms, we're live on all the platforms tonight. Before we do anything, we'll line up these calls, and we'll take a quick listen here. Here's Lakers head coach Darvin Ham.
Darvin, just want to start with your impressions of AD in his first action back.
I thought he looked good. You could tell, a few possessions, a little timing issue or whatnot, but overall, great, A+. He just makes the game look so easy. He takes so much pressure off us defensively, offensively. You can go to him. You score all 3 levels. Just really being aggressive and re-submerging himself into the system, into the game action. And I thought it was a great productive. Went over by 1 minute, so I didn't go too crazy. But I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, that 11-0 run to kind of put things away. Pretty tight game up until that point. Just wondered how you're trying to figure out the rotations with AD off the bench and getting Rui some minutes and figuring out who else is going to play. How did that go for you?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It's obviously my staff. They helped the hell out of me, man. It's just I'm so fortunate to have such a great staff. And so we were all just trying to figure out ways, we can mix and match. And, my hat's off to my guys that, have been playing a lot. Winyan, Juan, a couple DNPs. Well, they got in there at the end, but just their energy, their spirit on the sidelines, even though they didn't play, that's what we need. That's the type of culture we need to reestablish here. But we just wanted to get guys in there, and we knew, AD just now coming back, Rui being new, just had to work through some kinks. But for the most part, I thought AD was great, Rui was great, and once we settled into the game, we just different guys had different runs. Bryant, obviously, but defensively, I mean, we were excellent defensively, just giving multiple efforts, holding them one shot, keeping the ball in bounds so that we can run out in transition. And Russ, with his penetrating, had a couple of huge finishes at the rim. Rui, he was able to get some stuff done on that end of the floor, and it was just a good team win.
Darvin, as LeBron approaches Kareem's record, like one of the consistent points that other coaches always say is like he's not even a scorer, right? That he's a passer first.
Who said that?
Everybody. that is a.
They just hating.
I think we've heard that.
They hating on you, Six.
You're going to get me in trouble now on the internet. But Darvin, does getting AD back, adding an offensive player like Rui, he had 11 assists tonight, I think tied a season high. Like, does that unlock more of that part of his game than I think the scoring punch that he felt he had to carry these past 20?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. People say he's not a scorer. He's an elite level scorer, and hopefully that'll sink in once he eclipses that record. But his main objective is to set the table for his teammates, and he's always been a guy that prides himself in that on playing the right way. And the 11 assists tonight speaks for that. And again, the more able, capable bodies that we put out around him, he's not going to force the issue. He's not selfish. When he has it going, he's going to be aggressive and assertive to the rim to score. But in general, he's a guy that's going to set the table, put his teammates in a position to succeed. And like I said, getting A back, bringing in Rui, here shortly we'll get Lonnie and Austin back. You give him all those weapons around him, Russ, Dennis, Pat, like even Max, he's going to make sure that he gives them confidence by giving them opportunities with the ball, making plays for them as well as himself. So I just think it's great because it takes a lot of pressure off of him. He's felt like, he's had to carry the load for us with, in the midst of all these injuries. So, hopefully now he can settle in and really reestablish himself, exploring all facets of the game, which, his assists and rebounds have been up this entire time. So, but it's good to have some help around him.
Darvin, there was a couple of moments that AD had I wanted to ask you about. First, in the second quarter, his second stint, he seemed to find his rhythm. And what were you seeing out of him? Like, when did you know that, okay, he's starting to feel familiar out there?
Well, just, he wasn't pressing as much. And I thought the guys early on was pressing to get him the ball, to try to get him to score. And we just told him, just play basketball. The ball finds energy. As long as we stay disciplined with our running habits, as long as we space the right way, we set screens, we move the ball, he's going to be the AD that we all know and love. And I just think that second stint, he just settled down, took the pressure off himself, and just played basketball, just played within the realm of the system. And defensively, I thought that sparked him. You just saw him, what he in with, 4 block shots tonight? You just saw him get real aggressive defensively, and that was huge. The way he protects the rim, his multiple efforts, second and third jumps off the floor, and you could just see the confidence in him being able to play, pain-free once again.
And the other moment, at the end of the third quarter, Collins gets called for a flagrant foul for taking away his landing area, and the entire arena seemed to hold its
breath. Yeah. I heard that too. I almost fainted, by the
way. Did you have a moment of concern there?
Oh, hell yeah. That's a dangerous play. You know what I mean? That play has cost a lot of people a lot of opportunities, in past recent years. And to see him jump up, bounce up, a big fella, you good? He said, I'm all right. I'm okay. So that was a huge relief to see him, overcome that unfortunate play.
Hey, Darvin. I don't know if this is still fluid, but do you have any initial gauge of how many games he's going to have the minute restriction and coming off the bench and all that?
For the foreseeable future, that being a week or so, could be longer. We'll see how it goes. We'll play it day to day, see how he feels tomorrow. Tomorrow's an off day, so Friday morning but he'll still come in and get looked at and make sure everything is hitting on all cylinders.
Darvin, I think obviously the hope for Rui is he sort of evolves into a 3-and-D guy for you guys, but seeing his blend in transition, a couple baskets from Bron, a transition 3, how does that pretty early sign for you that he's going to fit in with this group?
Absolutely, because he doesn't force anything. The kid plays the right way. He's another one that's able to score at 3 levels. Whether it's catch and shoot 3, post up. I called his number a couple of times to get him the ball in the post. He's got a good mid-range game, and when he goes to the rim, he goes hard. As you saw on the one play he tried to dunk, he drew the foul call. So, and his activity on the offensive glass. But Rui is a kid. He's just playing out there to play the right way, and just watching him over the years, he's a seamless fit. He's gonna go and he's not gonna try to run, into anyone else's space. If they're looking for an opportunity to score, if the play call is for them, he's just gonna space out the right way, slash when he needs to slash, and just play within himself. And I think he's going to be a huge asset for us for the rest of the year.
All right, that is Lakers head coach Darvin Ham right there. We come back, we'll get a chance to hear from Thomas Bryant. And then all these interviews, really, to be honest, tonight, certainly want to get a chance to hear from A.D. Bron and the rest of the crew. Stay right here. Lakers over the Spurs, 113-104. Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cap. I'm here at the 909 Sports Bar here inside Yamava Casino, the greatest sports bar in Southern California and probably the world. Over 170 LED monitors, monster screens, people and energy, a massive amount of beers, and I promise you this, the food is off the charts. And then over there, 7,000 slot machines and hundreds of table games in this world-class resort. Yo, I'll see you here on Championship Sunday. Let's all get together for both games here at the 909 at Yamava.
Come out to the 909 at Yamava for our next watch party on January 29th.
All right, Chris.
Yes.
Who is the most famous person in your contact list?
I know everyone thinks I'm going to say Keyshawn. And he's pretty famous, right? But I think it's Bob Costas. Bob and I worked together years ago.
I've been doing this a really long time, so I have a bunch of people in O'Shea.
Can you FaceTime him?
FaceTime one of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got your back, bro.
There he is. There he is.
Michael Caine, the actor Michael Caine.
Can you FaceTime him?
Right now?
Yes.
Hell no. He's somewhere in England, hasn't made a movie in 20 years. No.
Is comedian Bill Engvall.
Can you FaceTime him? Right now?
Try.
Bill.
What a surprise.
How are you?
I'm good. What are you doing?
James Worthy, I think, is the most famous person in my contact list. And if I tried calling James Worthy, there's a 1,000% chance he would not answer.
James Worthy. You know who's not in the Hall of Fame, who should be, who's in this phone? Who? Steve Mason and John Ireland. They need to be in the Radio Hall of Fame.
I mean, I guess maybe Jay-Z, maybe.
Wrong.
I mean, I don't know if he's that. Yeah, I guess maybe
Wrong.
Jay-Z.
Ball, he's pretty famous. Charles Barkley. J.B. Smoove. Kyrie Irving, he's definitely changed his phone number since his Cleveland days.
Oh, that's easy. It's Magic Johnson, but the problem is he keeps changing his phone number on me.
This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Presented by Pizza Hut. Try the new Detroit style from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Allen Sliwa.
113-104 the final score. Need a break from the everyday? Well, fans, it might be your lucky day because tonight, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino is giving away 2-night stay plus dinner and golf or bowling for two. Make any day your lucky day. Book now at FantasySpringsResort.com. Lakers get a much-needed, shall I call it, desperate win over the San Antonio Spurs. Got to get wins right now. They're still 3 games below 500, so each one of these games do matter. Let's take a listen here. Thomas Bryant, get his thoughts on the Lakers win. 8 points, 5 rebounds for him. Here's TB.
You said it's really hard to put words on it. How was it having him out there?
It was really great. It wasn't even good. It was great to have his presence, to have his dominance right back out there on the floor. I mean, you guys saw it right then and there, coming right out of the gate, being aggressive, doing what he does best. And, it's a great thing to see.
Obviously, he makes such an impact on the defensive end of the floor. Were you guys able to feel that instantly defensively?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We felt it on the bench, out there on the floor. And like I said, just having his presence out there with his dominance, I think everybody feels it out there. The fans, us, and even the other team, I felt it too.
What about your former teammate, Rui, being back on the same team? What did you kind of see from him? Especially, it seemed like he adapted to the transition game pretty quick.
I think he's getting back to his ways, getting out in transition, finishing through contact, and also on his isolation. So, he scored a few times on those as well. He's getting back to his normal self, and it's great to see.
What can you kind of tell us about him from being his teammate for a couple of years?
I know Rui is a hard worker, and he's so versatile out there playing with us. He can guard multiple positions, which I think we see all the night. And then we saw him finish in transition. You saw him, get the ball in isolation and make some moves and, score a few buckets out there. He's very versatile out there. I think he's going to help this team dynamically.
There were some bright spots over the last 20 games where you grew as a team. Having been through that and getting AD back and getting Rui added to the mix, do you feel like this could be some sort of starting point for the final flourish towards the playoff push?
I feel like we're in the right direction of it. I feel like our starting point was before, with all of this, but I think that we're in the right direction, getting guys back from injuries, getting AD back, having Rui a part of our team as well. I think it's a great transition into that last part. Into that last part of the season, and hopefully we can get into that playoff contentions and, fight our way into it.
All right, that's Thomas Bryant right there of the Lakers, and a couple things come to mind here. And listen, there's going to be some curiosity of how the Lakers, the rotation looks. Thomas Bryant did a fantastic job when Anthony Davis was out, did everything he can. I think over-delivered like no tomorrow. Had stat lines in the postgame where I'm reading them off, 31s and 14s, and a couple games, stick out. The win over, let's see who it was, the win over the Blazers, the win over the Sacramento Kings on the road. So Thomas Bryant was fantastic. One of the good problems that Darvin Ham is going to have is, well, how do I get these guys the minutes? What rotations am I going to have? What players am I going to focus on? What guys are going to mesh perfect together? What guys are going to play better with AD and Braun? What guys are better to come off the bench? I don't have that answer now, but we saw just enough tonight to give us a little bit of the potential that this team can have once Austin Reeves comes back, Lonnie Walker comes back. Guys are going to be fighting for minutes. I think if you look at a starting lineup right now, which is LeBron, Troy Brown Jr., Thomas Bryant, Pat Bev, and Dennis Schroeder, I have to imagine when the dust settles, Hachimura is going to be in the starting lineup. I could be wrong. Maybe they're just going to use him off the bench. Of course, AD is going to be in the starting lineup. All right, what are you going to do when Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker come back? Are one of those two guys going to potentially be in the starting lineup? You could have three different guys in that starting rotation, which means you're going to have a lot of guys that are also coming off the bench that will get a chance to go up against the bench players of the opposing team. So whatever Darvin Ham decides, whatever he ends up figuring out what to do, I think he's going to have a lot more options than he's had here in the past. So just kind of point this out here. We're all taking a look at the NBA standings on a night-in, night-out basis. And after this win tonight, just to kind of show everybody, not much has changed. Kind of crazy to look and see that all of a sudden the Pelicans are losing games and the Clippers are now just a half game out of being in fourth place. Which means if you look at the Lakers, to get in the play-in tournament right now, 25 and 24. To get in the play-in tournament right now, 25 and 24. And so the one thing that I do say is the 25 and 24, that's where Phoenix is. Where the Lakers are, they're 23 and 26. So you're still 2.5 games out of getting back into the NBA standings. Okay, let's take a listen here. Rui Hachimura is live right now. We're going to take a listen.
The teammates look easy, I had a couple easy looks, so yeah, I think it's going to be great playing with those guys. Yeah.
Rui, you talk about the easy looks that you got, I guess, in transition, and then Darvin said he called your number for a couple post-ups. How much did the coaching staff and your teammates kind of play a role in getting you feeling a little bit in a groove and comfortable on the court tonight?
Yeah, like it feels so weird. I was just 2 days ago I was with the Wizards, and now I'm playing here. Honestly, I didn't know. We looked over a little bit of plays and the defense stuff this morning, but yeah, today I think for me I think I did pretty good, fit in pretty good with those guys. I think the play call was so easy, and yeah, we were just out there hooping. So yeah, I think it was great.
Rui, kind of along those lines. I mean, how much is there to learn, and how much is it, just little different changes from things you were doing in Washington and stuff like that, or is it? I mean, is it overwhelming that it's a new playbook, new teammates, stuff like that?
It's actually not. The coach is really trying to teach me a lot of stuff but they've been doing a good job teaching me new stuff, and it's only been 1 day, but they gave me iPad and stuff. I can watch it at home, and yeah, other than that, the players they just help me a lot of stuff, and even during the game, the coach is talking to me and stuff. So yeah, I think for me it was easy to adjust, and yeah, it's just only 1 day, so I think I don't know how long it's going to take a time, but I think I can adjust quickly.
Rui, tonight was a big night in the Lakers season, in a season that's had some things not go their way. What was it feeling like taking the court with AD together for the first time, checking in with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter?
Felt great, I've been saying those three guys, Russ, LeBron, AD, they're one of the top in the league right now, and playing with those guys, it's amazing, I love playing. It was only one game, but I like to play with those guys, and yeah, I think I can have an easy look because they're gonna have a lot of defenders, on them. So I think it's gonna be great.
Speaking of easy looks, the first time you received a pass from LeBron on the break, I think you finished on the right side, and you kind of flashed a smile. Was that relief because you finished it, or just enjoying being part of a fast break?
Yeah, enjoying the moment. I like to play fast. Obviously here Lakers, we like to play fast. So I think it's a great fit for me. I like to run. And everybody can pass, everybody can push the ball, so I can push the ball. So yeah, I think it's great. Yeah.
Rui, there were reports that in Japan, I believe it's Rakuten, that shows the games, and the server might have crashed or something at a certain point, because presumably because so many people are tuning in to watch, and the games are on a little later in the day, around noon, whereas in Washington, right? Does that make sense? Around at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
did you get any feedback or text or just kind of thoughts about the people in Japan?
Honestly, I haven't checked my phone yet. I don't know. I got to check them out, but yeah. Like I said before, I think yesterday, the Lakers is literally the most famous team NBA in Japan. So, yeah, I think a lot of people is watching here, and of course, they've been following me. So I think as a country, we're so happy about this move, and yeah, I think I'm so happy to be here. So yeah, I think we just keep going.
じゃあ日本語ですいません。ちなみに今の話、弟さんもなんかツイッターで見られないって結構嘆いて。
All right, that is Rui Hachimura right there. The Lakers get their debut with Rui, get an opportunity to see. I love kind of listening to him. You forget sometimes the power of that Lakers brand. I mean, it's as international as it gets. It really, really is. And for him to talk about how it's by far the most popular NBA team in Japan. Not that you forget that, but maybe you don't think of that. We're just thinking about the Lakers. We're watching them night in and night out. Obviously our broadcast talking predominantly to Los Angeles here, but a cool story. And I'm really, rooting for this guy. He was a former number 9 pick, and sometimes you just got to end up with the right franchise. You got to end up with the right team. You got to end up with the right players, and he's going to get unbelievable looks. We know that. He's going to get opportunities being here in LA from a business perspective that probably he can't get in most other markets. He's got a chance to play with one of the greatest to ever do it, and he comes here at a time where Bron's about to, within the next couple of weeks, break the all-time record of Kareem, and you got one of the best bigs in the NBA in Anthony Davis. So he's going to have some big shoes to fill as well. You know, I'm overhyping him already. I'm talking about how much I like seeing him out on the floor, and it's not about, well, what exactly did your stats look like? It's also what you can do on the defensive side. It's how you have the ability to guard multiple positions. It's the ability to hit an open three when Bron and Anthony Davis get so much attention. I'm excited to see what this guy can do, but just his size, the 6'8", to go with Bron and go with Anthony Davis is fantastic. So really excited about seeing how he could develop with the Lakers and where we'll be from a month from now, where he'll be personally from a month, 2 months from now as well. Okay, when we come back, we'll get a chance to hear from more of some of these Laker players. We'll see who comes up next. LeBron, Anthony Davis. We'll keep you guys posted. Stay right here. Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 17.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPNLA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets. React to the Lakers on ESPNLA app.
Download the new ESPNLA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cap. I'm here at the 909 Sports Bar here inside Yamava Casino, the greatest sports bar in Southern California and probably the world. Over 170 LED monitors, monster screens, people and energy, a massive amount of beers, and I promise you this, the food is off the charts. And then over there, 7,000 slot machines and hundreds of table games in this world-class resort. Yo, I'll see you here on Championship Sunday. Let's all get together for both games here at the 909 at Yamava.
Come out to the 909 at Yamava for our next watch party on January 29th.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
You're listening to the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show.
Highlights from tonight's Lakers game. And your reaction on the Lakers line. The Los Angeles Lakers on 710 ESPN.
Presented by Pizza Hut. Try the new Detroit style from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Once again,
here's Allen Sliwa.
I Point to the Paint all season long is sponsored by Vista Paint. Right now, local residents can take 40% off on factory direct high-quality Vista Paint products. A Vista Paint team member will show you how. Locally owned, manufactured, and operated since 1956. Visit VistaPaint.com and start saving. Points in the paint tonight, 58 Spurs, 48 Lakers. Okay, couple things here I do want to point out. So, Lakers over the Spurs, 113-104, the final score. Lakers about to go on a 5-game road trip. At Boston on Saturday. Brooklyn on Monday. Knicks on a back-to-back on Tuesday. And then I want to say it's Thursday after that. I'll double-check. But you got the Indiana Pacers after that, and then you'll close out your road trip against the Pelicans. Before tonight's game, I was talking about the Lakers need to win 4 of their next 6. By the way, very doable. You got one out of the way. So now go handle business. Get 3 of the next 5 on this road trip. And if you look at it, Boston obviously is going to be the toughest game of the entire road trip. Celtics have the best record in the NBA. I love it, right? The rivalry game. It's going to be nationally televised. It's a fun game to be a part of. But Boston's a good team. And the Lakers are going to instantly have a real deal test coming, and that's going to start on Saturday. The Nets and the Knicks are interesting to me because the Nets do not have Kevin Durant, so it's a very winnable game. And Brooklyn's, I think, won only 4 of their last 10 games. Of course, the impact of not having Kevin Durant there is huge. The Knicks are a few games over 500, 3 games over, playing about 500 basketball. So, kind of paying attention to that as well. Again, winnable game. But I'm just going to go to, for me personally, I'm just going to look at this 5-game schedule coming up, and Lakers got to come out with 3 wins. That's going to be obviously the most important thing. All right, let's go to Anthony Davis, who's up on the podium right now.
Didn't look like the AD we're used to seeing.
Yeah. It was actually like in the first quarter, the first maybe like 30 seconds to a minute. I was kind of just testing the water. Even though I've been playing pickup and things, like you can control that pace. In real game, you can't. If they're flying down the floor, you got to sprint back, or if your team is running, you have to run as well. So that was kind of the ultimate test for me. And then just seeing if something flare up, do I feel any pain, whatever. And after that, maybe first minute and a half, when I didn't feel anything, I just wanted to start playing and felt really comfortable. And then just seeing the ball go through the second free throw attempt, to get back in the rhythm and just start playing and just trying to do the little things to kind of get myself going.
There was a moment at the end of the third quarter, Spurs get called for a flagrant foul. The entire arena, had their breath taken away.
Yeah.
Darvin said he almost fainted.
Yeah.
Did you have your health flash before your eyes?
No. I was fine. Didn't bother me at all. All the guys was coming to me like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Man, was it that bad?" I see it, and then it's like, "Yeah, it's bad." And it's funny because we kind of did the same thing with Dennis, and I think Miami when he rolled his ankle, but. Fine. Foot is fine. Ankle is fine. Body feels good.
AD, that relationship with you and LeBron, I think we saw, and Darvin mentioned timing issue, and I think we saw one lob where it didn't quite connect. But, overall, how do you feel like that was kind of guiding you back to finding your rhythm in the court and where the areas that you think you two can kind of clean it up in the 2-man game?
Yeah, just getting more reps. We had a good flow going before I went out. And then until maybe I think the last 5, probably 7-8 minutes of the game, I came back in, I think the 5-minute mark. We were able to kind of get some cohesiveness together. We didn't really play that much together, to start the game in the first half. So I mean, we have a really good connection, and it's just, about me getting the rhythm back, on 2 of those passes, back to Bron. So the outlet and then the lob over the top. But we've been teammates long enough to know, how our connection is, and I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Once I get back in the starting lineup, we have more reps with me and him in that 2-man game.
Eddie, what do you know about Rui's game when you played against him, and what do you think he can bring for this team?
He was able to do it all. I mean, anytime I played against him in Washington, he made an impact on the game on both ends of the floor. And tonight we tried to feature him, in a lot of post-ups, knowing that he can do it all. Really good mid-range shooter, get to the basket. He got it back to the basket game, face up, can shoot the ball. So usually some of the plays that, and I got to talk to Coach about this, but some of the plays we run for me, we ran for him tonight. He's like, AD, you go in the corner. I'm like, oh, okay, No, but I mean, and we just kept running. I was telling the guy, keep going to it. The action where Rui goes in the post, and just tell him, if they don't double, you don't pass. You go to work. So he got going, made a turnaround, then got fouled. So I think he can really, really help us on both ends of the floor. Obviously, him getting acclimated with the team is going to take time, but tonight it looked like he fit in. He was able to fit in really, really well.
Eddie, after that first stretch when you were out, this team beat Sacramento, it beat Memphis, obviously the win in Portland. What's the confidence level as you guys are getting whole right now, especially considering kind of the 5-game trip?
Yeah, our confidence is always high. It's just about us, going out and doing the things we need to do. No matter who we're playing, we feel like we can beat any team. And a lot of teams that's in the top of the West or top of the East, top teams, we either beaten or in really close games. So, this team is a resilient team, and they've shown that over the past, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever, winning games against big teams. So we always have our swag, we always have our confidence, and it's just about us just going on the floor and showing that.
Hey, good to see you back. It's fluid, but Darvin was saying that for the foreseeable future, maybe for the next week or so, that you would be on a minutes restriction off the bench. How did you adjust to that tonight, and how to do that moving forward?
It was definitely, new for me since I've been playing. I told him, I said the last time I came off the bench was the 2012 Olympics. I haven't, came off the bench since I've been in the league. So, but I mean, whatever it takes. I mean, I definitely understood it. I was fine with it. Tried to stay ready and went in and did what I had to do. But it's definitely a different road. Trying to, you warm up, then you sit down, and then you go in. That was different for me, but felt good. I felt good out there.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're about to enter a remarkable 10-day period, I think, with you've been in the Olympics, you've been an NBA champion, college champion, and now you're going to be part of this excitement, I guess, as LeBron breaks this record. You're close to LeBron, I know. You guys have a great relationship. How excited are you for him, and what do you think it means to be able to break this legendary record?
Well, for me, I think it's just great. I think, watching him, since I was younger, he's been like a role model, idol, type for me. And we actually had the conversation when I first got here. I used to go to his camp, like all this. I look up to him, like, man, I want a picture. And now, we're close mates and end up winning that championship that year. So it all comes full circle. But pretty sure if you ask LeBron, what it means to him to break the record, I think he said something already that he never thought to do something like that. But he's more about winning, So if he, which is impossible, but if he didn't break it this year and we won, like he wouldn't care. So, but I knew how he felt, when he passed Kobe, and so like to be number one, Like I don't know, it's definitely an honor to be a part of when the time happens and to see, he does things on the floor that's unreal and probably only he can do. So to witness that and, witness greatness and witness history, courtside seat, I'll take it. Yep.
All right, that's Anthony Davis right there. Lakers over the San Antonio Spurs. Final score, 113-104. So, real quick on this, we'll give our final thoughts here. Anthony Davis back after 5.5 weeks. Rui Hachimura makes his Lakers debut. Lakers end up with a win. Love seeing some of the bounce here. Bryant 20, 11, and 9. AD 21 and 12. Probably expect LeBron's numbers to go down here as far as offense goes. I'm talking about just his scoring because, Anthony Davis is going to get his, and I don't think that's something that Bron will worry about. All right, our next broadcast is coming up on Saturday. Lakers in Boston taking on the Celtics. Thank you to everybody internally here. Michael Funches, Rebecca Womble, Wilbert Flores. Thank you to Carlos Saisu and Josh Martinez handling all our stuff socially. We will be back on tomorrow morning starting at 6 a.m. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. I'm Allen Sliwa. This is the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Lakers basketball tonight. Game 49 of the season is in the books.
Lakers basketball on ESPNLA is sponsored by Subaru of Glendale,
the #1 volume Subaru dealer in California.
Lakers basketball delivered by new melts from Pizza Hut. Cheesy, crispy, and loaded with toppings for just $6.99. Enough for 2, price for 1. New Pizza Hut melt.